ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. That's right. It's your weekly rewind, the MLW Rewind. And I'm your host, your boy, George Mckay, and I'm here with my podcast life partner, Lewis Carlan. Lewis, say hello to the people.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Very happy that you could be with us. Very excited to talk about this episode of MLW Rewind. We had the Backley Brawl, and very excited to talk about it, among other things. And I'm very excited to get into it, man.
Absolutely. And I think we're going to have differing opinions on stuff. But there are some
Mhm.
people that actually surprised me and impressed me in this show.
Wow,
Um,
really?
Yeah, and one of them is in that tag match, which I mean, yes, hands down was still a squash match of some epic proportions, but
Yeah.
one person stood out for me, and it wasn't who most people might think because everybody knows I'm a TJP guy. TJP was great, but somebody else stood out for me, so we'll get into that a little bit later. But let's run it back to the top of the show. What is with the lip? What is you have no idea where I'm
I'm
going.
just curious. I'm
That's why we
curious.
have differing opinions.
I'm
My
curious where you're going
opinion,
with that. I'm
I
curious,
thought
but we'll find out. We'll find out.
nobody saw the face, but I saw the face. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the face that he made when I said it wasn't TJP that impressed me. This is what I got. Are you guys ready? I don't know what that means, but I guess we're going to have another podcast quarrel here on the show. But I guess you guys are used to that now, right? Like we're talking 6 episodes in, and there's only one episode we didn't fight or disagree, and that was the one that I was on by myself.
Yeah, I'm just I'm just curious who it was, but we'll get to it. We'll get to
We'll
it.
get to it.
I
So
was
the
just trying
top of
to.
the show, we
Okay.
had the Max Kruger and Alex Hammerstone vignette, kind of a retelling of everything leading up to the Backley Brawl, and it was getting everybody primed and pumped for it. And it was I thought it was a nice little quick 2 minutes. We also know that we were going to get an appearance by the Filthy Island Control Center, and this is my favorite thing happening right now. I really do enjoy this. But let's go with the first match of the night. So we had one half of Injustice, Jordan Oliver with Myron Reed by his side, facing Davari by a Sensi Death Squad member's side. Um, Kind of a head scratcher for me. He sent out a Death Squad member, I guess, because it was supposed to be a squash match, and that's exactly what it was. Um, Oliver won it convincingly uh, over the Death Squad member, and then there was the Reed promo right before the match, which was challenging Contra next week to a tag match. And then at the end of the match, Oliver promos on Fatu saying how he went from 170 to 220. He's a heavyweight. Keep your eyes open. I'm coming. The match was okay. It was a squash match. Lewis definitely probably disagrees, but it was a squash match. You don't throw in a Sensi Death member against Jordan Oliver. If Jordan Oliver wants to show and prove against somebody in Contra, well, it should be somebody in Contra, not the background players in Contra, the actual forefronting members of Contra. So I know you have a differing opinion. This is why we are who we are. What do you have to say, sir?
Well, first things first. I mean, Joseph Samuel is going to have to get himself a couple of better Sentai Death Squad members because if he's like, oh, I'm going to dispatch the Sentai Death Squad member to go after Jordan Oliver, and it's a minute and 25-second squash match, you're going to need a couple more Sentai Death Squad members with a little more experience than the one that you sent.
Hey, but you
But
got to give it up to the Sensi's Death Squad member. He lasted a lot longer than Bud Heavy
then Bud
combined.
Heavy, yeah, I that's true.
Combined.
But I personally think this match should have gone was supposed to go a little longer, but Jordan Oliver did get injured. I think that was legit. If you notice, he did injure his knee or his ankle. You could see. I was watching the match again. He did twist his ankle, and I'm thinking it should have gone a little longer, but because he got injured, he had to hit the cutter and win the match quickly. But then you brought on Oliver saying he wants to. Why do I keep calling him Junior Fatu? Jacob Fatu.
I like that name. Junior Fatu, the
Jacob Fatu.
crown jewel of Contra.
And he says he wants Jacob Fatu, which is great. He wins a squash match here, but he hasn't earned a shot. He lost to Simon Gotch, 2 3 weeks ago. I mean,
Mhm.
if they were going to put him in a position to be an opponent for Fatu, he should have won that match against Gotch, in my opinion.
Right.
So he's to me, it's like, oh, you're going after Fatu, but you lost to Simon Gotch, so you have no shot against Fatu, and that's how I see it, man.
Right. And I think there's still a lot to show and prove with Jordan Oliver. I mean, like I said, we differed on the opinions of the Gotch Oliver match, but Oliver actually impressed me in that one. He made me a fan that night. This was definitely a squash match, but then to bring him out and say, I'm not the kid I was a year ago. I'm 220. I'm not 170. I'm coming. Jacob Fatu is going to ruin you. He's going to make, if you have a wife, he's going to make her a widow. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. That's a match that I don't want to see. Not yet.
No, me neither.
And if I do want to see somebody from Injustice go after Jacob Fatu, I want to see Myron Reed. I don't want to see Jordan Oliver.
See,
and I think that Myron Reed would have a better showing against Jacob Fatu just because he's a little bit more creative in the ring. And that's my honest opinion.
And I am agreeing. I agree with you 100%. It should be Myron Reed, not Oliver. Oliver should have said, "I'm not the man I was a week ago." I'm not the man I was 2 weeks ago when I lost to Simon Gotch. I'm a bitter man now. I was 218 then. I'm 220 now.
Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say, you should have said he was about 2 pounds difference. Would have been more believable for sure. And I don't know where the fuck the 220 is coming from, because I'm 260 and I could maul that motherfucker to the ground.
You're not 260.
I am.
Okay.
What are you trying to say? I'm bigger than 260?
No, I didn't think you. I think you're smaller than that. I didn't. Think
no, I'm actually 265. I'm proud to say it. My wife likes a bigger man. It helps her stay warm at night, and I'm okay with that. And also, I'm married to a beautiful Italian woman, and she cooks like a goddess for me. And what can I say? I go back for seconds. There's no first and only first. I go back for seconds all the time. So shout out to my lovely wife, Sasha. I love you. Thank you so much for being amazing. All right. So this was also brought to the forefront, and I knew this was coming. There was a scandal last week, Lewis. There was a ref scandal last week, and it was about that bloody, just epic Caribbean strap match.
Yeah.
And now Court Bauer, per our good friend Alicia Altoot, is taking these allegations very seriously, Lewis. He is investigating. We're going to find out what happened. Oh, no. And we're going to get to the bottom of it, because that was bullshit. Did I sell it? I thought I sold it pretty good. Did I sell? No,
that was pretty. that was pretty good. Yeah, I thought you were kidding. You had me fooled. You were always kidding, but then I was like, wait a minute, is he kidding or is he serious? It was good selling it. It's good selling it. No, but one thing is that what's his name? Tim Donaghy. Is that how you pronounce it? Tim Donaghy. Yeah. He's getting them a hell of a lot of publicity. A hell of a lot of publicity.
He was a jackass back in the early 2000s, brother. Yeah. So listen, all publicity, good or bad, and who's bringing it, good or bad, is still one thing: publicity. People are talking about it. ESPN was they did a whole like expose, a like 22-page article on ESPN.com about MLW. So how else are you going to get over and grow the fan base? And it worked, because I always check the MLW fan base numbers, and they were at like 106,000 subscribers last week. This week, they're at 116. So over this whole Tim Donaghy thing, they just gained 10,000 subscribers.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So, I mean, what does that tell you? That tells you that, yeah, as much as we may have not liked the decision worked. So I give it up to the mad genius, Court Bauer, on that one. Beautiful way to tie it all together. And kudos to you, because it did exactly what it was supposed to do. It got people outside of the wrestling world talking about MLW. And that's huge. That's huge.
Exactly. Great job. Like you said, great job by Court Bauer. They're getting tons of publicity right now, and hopefully they'll use it to their benefit, man.
100%. So what do you think about this De La Renta promo? I mean, first off, she looked absolutely stunning. I mean, I just wanted to sit beside her with that glass of red wine and talk about life. She is very easy on the eyes. And apparently now, after the Caribbean strap match fiasco, IWA is lacking money. But the new owner of Promociones Dorado, Aztec Underground, apparently has made IWA an offer to buy. And we could see a merging of IWA and Promociones Dorado under the new banner of Aztec Underground. Apparently, this week's Fusion, there was quite a bit of high rollers for Aztec Underground in the suites above the arena, as they were saying all episode. So there's some money. There's some deep fucking pockets there. And this, what do you think? Because I know you followed IWA well before I did, and I know you got a little bit more insight in IWA. Do you think that IWA could be absolved by Promociones Dorado?
Just to clear things up, I know very little about IWA, to be honest.
Yeah, but you know a lot more than I do. You knew. Listen, let's be honest here with IWA. I knew nothing about IWA before Richard Holiday stole the Caribbean title. I knew
Okay.
nothing about IWA before. I didn't even know how to pronounce it. Go back to watch any of the early episodes of MLW Rewind. You're correcting me. So at least you knew how to say the name properly, IWA. So fine, you know nothing. We both know nothing. But
Okay.
what are your thoughts on IWA being possibly absolved into this new
I think
thing?
this is could be very interesting. We could see an interpromotional war going on. I know we got some AAA against MLW, but maybe we're gonna get a they're gonna come together and try to do a takeover at MLW. Get some talent from IWA coming in, taking out MLW wrestlers. It could be their version of the AEW Impact Wrestling partnership. You don't know. Could be very interesting, man.
Absolutely. 2021 has shown already very early on to be the year of partnerships. We
Yeah.
saw a little bit of it last year, but this year it kind of steamrolled right from January, right from Hard to Kill, and we've had a lot of successes. And there was a lot of memes going around on or on Twitter of the Avengers, where it was NWA, AEW, Impact, MLW. They were all standing there, and then WWE was Thanos with the gauntlet, and a lot of people talking, a lot of people buzzing about more inter promotions. But here's the thing: people got to start paying attention because if they haven't, MLW quietly has been doing that. They've had TJP on consecutive weeks, and he is technically right now signed to Impact, but Impact is lending their talent elsewhere, and there's nothing wrong with that. He is the X Division champion, so he's getting all kinds of TV time in Impact, anyways. Bringing him over to MLW gave them a little
Well,
bit more
I'm sorry.
of
Let
an
me
outlet.
correct you on something. Let me correct you. He's not signed with Impact Wrestling. I'm sorry. He's not signed with Impact Wrestling.
Okay, well, he's
He
rocking their
has
gold.
he from what
He's
I
rocking
mean,
gold there right
he's
now.
with Impact Wrestling, but he's not signed to any exclusive contract, so he can wrestle anywhere he wants.
Okay, so when he's
That's what I've read, and that's what actually he said as well. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut
okay,
you off. You were making a
yeah,
point.
you did. You
I
absolutely did. You
apologize, man.
love
Go
to
ahead.
try to prove me wrong. You love to test the manhood, so it's fine. But okay, so he's not
No,
signed to
but
Impact, whatever, but he's still representing. He's more of a fixture on Impact than he is anywhere else right now. With travel restrictions and COVID, all he can really do is Impact, possibly AEW if he wants to, or if there's an opportunity for him to go over there through the Impact partnership, or currently now MLW. Regardless of the fact, you're seeing a lot more of TJP outside the Impact bubble. Is all at my own point was. So he's not signed. That's fine. But the fact is, he is rocking gold over an Impact, and when he comes over, he's putting a spotlight on the X division, and he's also putting a spotlight on himself. And there's nothing wrong with that. So all I'm saying is partnerships have quietly been forming for a long time, and MLW has been kind of one of those ones who's been doing it regularly for most of 2019 and now, or sorry, to most of 2020 when they did come back. There was the beginning part, and then they stopped for a little bit, and then they came back, and then into 2021, we've seen Brian Pillman there. We've seen other, so there is inner workings of inter promotions. Was my point. So I don't think it's
he's
a
also
bad
with
idea.
New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's also with New Japan Pro Wrestling, by the way. He shows up on the New Japan Pro Wrestling US shows as well.
Yes, I watched Showdown. I
TJP.
know this. I know this. So all I'm saying is that he's all over the fucking place. I don't know where the
Yeah, no, that's cool.
you're breaking my balls tonight, but I'm gonna
No,
forgive
no,
you.
no.
I'll give you a bye because I'm not feeling 100%. So next week you are gonna get a thrashing of your life when I'm all over you with the old man jokes. I'm just saying.
Oh,
Just saying. Okay. So then we get after the amazing De La Renta promo with that sweet glass of red wine. Hammerstone pops up on the screen. He's heading to the Contra compound. He's on his way. The Contra compound looks suspiciously like the loading dock of the MLW studios, but we'll mystery sake. And then Alicia out to investigate announces the Court Bauer investigation. We talked about that earlier. And then the Von Erichs cut another promo, this time without their dad. And it was actually semi okay, except with the whole contradiction of we're Texas boys, but now we live in Honolulu or Kauai or wherever they are in Hawaii. So
yeah.
the contradiction there kind of makes me scratch my head. We know that Filthy Island is supposed to be in and around where they lay their hats. And I did love the hashtag GoFundMe. We actually made a joke about that last week. And I don't know, maybe they are watching. They stole our joke. But they also said that because Tom Lawler's sponsors are pulling out, hashtag GoFundMe Filthy Island. So I actually thought that was the best part of the promo. in terms of that. But what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll be honest. I couldn't give the promo my full attention because my daughter had come down and she was asking me questions, and I meant to watch it again today, but I wasn't able to. So I didn't. The promo didn't have my full attention. So I think you know best on if the promo was good or not. I don't want to talk on it if I haven't really paid attention to it. So if you said it was good, I take your word for it, man.
Wow, that's it. So, guys, there you go. One of us pulls his weight, the other one doesn't. I got a 4-year-old who climbs all over me when I'm watching Fusion, but I could still pull it off. But hey, you know what? I didn't know that TJP wasn't signed to Impact. Whoops. Sorry, world. Fucking guy.
Technically he's not, right? He could wrestle. I mean, when you let's go back. Remember
Oh,
when
let's not dwell on this. We got our interview coming up in 25 minutes, and we got to
Oh
go through the rest
Jesus,
of this.
that's
Fucking
right. That's right. Okay, let's go on.
Christ.
Let's move.
Okay,
Let's move
guys.
forward.
Lewis knows who's signed and who isn't. I don't, nor do I care. The fact is that TJP's face is every fucking where.
Okay.
So good on
okay.
TJP for growing his brand and growing within organizations to put a spotlight on them. Can we fucking agree on that, Lewis?
Yes, we can. Yes.
Can we move on now?
We can.
Thank you.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
Let's move on to the tag team title match. You had TJP and Boku Dao versus Los Parks with my girl Delarenta coming out in all black, looking seriously focused. For this match, for me, there was a lot that was, again, a head scratcher. LA Park was all over the place. There was parts where he was trying to pull TJP through the ropes, and TJP was kind of following him like a dog, trying to get to the right spots. Also, when he put him up in the corner, he went for a headbutt and didn't do it. TJP did a great job of selling it anyways. But the one person who did surprise me in this match, and I know that fucking Lewis is now going to run another 15 minutes of trying to prove me wrong, was Dao. He looked a lot more comfortable in this match. I'm not going to say he was a superstar. He had some spots that impressed me, and I thought he, for the most part, handled his own. My favorite part of the match, though, was when Selena stood up on the rope with a wad of cash and tried to bribe the ref, as Los Parks did their what's now become their signature switch, the old switcheroo. LA Park slid away. The new, younger, thinner, different colored Park came into the ring. The ref had no idea that the costume was completely fucking different. And he puts Dao down. TJP was outside fighting the other Park, trying to get him away from everything. Unfortunately, TJP and Dao did not win the titles. Los Parks retained. And at the end of the match, we saw some frustration boil over in TJP. He pushed Dao to the floor and he walks out. Frustration got the best of him that night. They tried to build it for next week. We're apparently going to find out what happened, why TJP got so frustrated at Dao. And it almost looked like Dao was going to cry in the middle of the ring when he got pushed down. It looked like a kid at a grocery store when his dad or mom told him, no, you cannot have that candy bar. You want something to have an apple, but you're not going to have this candy bar. So that's what it looked like to me. But Dao impressed me in this tag match. TJP tried to do what he could for LA Park. LA Park was all over the damn place. He looked gassed, didn't know what he was doing, trying to pull TJP to the center ring. Like I said, his hand wasn't even on his head. Go back and watch the match. The headbutt in the corner, he went left, TJP went right. There was no fluidity. And I'm not sure if I could put the whole thing on TJP and Dao. Last week, I got called out by a fan on YouTube about violence is everything. I said that they did not impress me, nor were they anything to write home about. Fan kind of broke it down in bullet points and listed them. I went back and did some more research on him. Fan was right. They must have just had an off night last week because some of their other matches have been pretty dynamite, but the jury's still out for me on that. So kudos to the YouTube fan for the back and forth that we had. It was friendly. It was what the internet should be. There was no bullying. I agreed. He agreed. We had valid points. We moved on. Much like Lewis and I move on every fucking week. Go ahead, Lewis.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how come we can't just get along like that?
We did move on. You again in the fourth consecutive week found a way to call out my mistake.
Okay.
And I've highlighted my error. I aired it out on air and said, Lewis is right. I am wrong. I've been saying that since the show started. You have not once said, especially when you called Junior for two. Who's Junior for two, Lewis? Thank you.
Hey, if I make a mistake and you're right, I'm the first person who'll say you're right and I'm wrong.
But I'm right 75% of the time. And even when I'm right, or even when I'm wrong, I still maybe possibly 1% No, I won't be wrong. So it is what it is. I still love you though. I think you're a great
Okay,
human being.
thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
George
Am I?
Costanza, what's your opinion on this match?
Well, I kind of disagree. I kind of disagree on Dow.
Shocker!
I thought he looked absolutely lost at some points in the match, especially in the beginning.
Who's that?
He's just
TJP?
no Dow. Dow looked lost in the match, and especially in the beginning, he looked a little lost in the match.
I said more comfortable. I didn't say he looked like a grade A fucking player.
Okay,
I said more comfortable.
Okay, fair enough. More comfortable, but the match kind of picked up when TJP got more involved. One thing the thing I want to talk about though is TJP kind of turning on Dow at the end. I mean, that kind of came out of left field. I wasn't expecting that. I mean, Los Parks cheated to win. So why is he blaming Dow for the loss? Right? They cheated by bringing the third guy in that the referee didn't, like you said, the costume was completely a different color. The referee didn't notice it at all. And even at the end, after all three of them in the ring, a ref's looking at all three, not going to say anything. Suddenly there's two, but now there's three, but it's okay. I've already counted three. It's time for me. It's I got to get out of here. I got to go back
maybe
home.
That'll be part of the ref scandal investigations.
they just brought Domino's in the back, and I don't like cold pizza, so it's okay. I'm going to the back. But
over.
Do you understand what I mean? Why is TJP getting upset at Dow when Los Parks cheated to win? Doesn't he realize that they cheated to win? Unless he doesn't realize that they cheated to win. And
I don't think he does. I don't think he's aware of because he was on the outside of the ring. They didn't really show it again because of the shoddy camera work. There's only so much they could show in that confined space. So when he was outside dealing with the other member of Los Parks, I don't think he saw the swap or the switch. I just think he saw the 1, 2, 3 and think that Dow probably screwed it up somehow. Maybe that's what they're going to do when we see next week, because apparently we're going to find out next week why TJP was so frustrated.
Okay. Well, you're right and I'm wrong. Okay. Wow. Happy?
Yeah. The ratio is 1 for 4.
Yeah, but the match was okay. The match was okay, and you're right about Dow. He looked like a little baby who had his bottle taken away.
My candy bar. Oh my
candy
God.
bar's little bottle taken away. But unless TJP is trying to, the storyline is TJP trying to toughen him up, and trying to make him a better man by turning on him and being an opponent instead of a teacher or something like that. I mean, we've seen that before.
Maybe that's the only way. Sometimes a student has to beat the master, right? So maybe this is that point. Do you want to even bother talking about the third Max Kruger promo of the night where you couldn't hear him, or could we just move on? Let's move on.
Like the whole, I don't even know why they show the promos if he can't even understand what he's saying. All you hear is.
I heard one part. I think he said
Contra. Hell Contra. That's what you hear.
I heard him at one point. I think he said he's going to end Hammerstone. I think. Okay. I heard that. I'm not 100%. But yeah, they got to do a little bit less on the audio modifications on the voice. Just let the guy speak, I think. But that's the way they built the character now. It's too hard to go back. It's too hard to undo what's been done. They have to kind of keep going with it, even if you can barely hear it. They have to keep going with it. Yeah, but there was an awesome promo right after it. My boy, Lio Rush, the man of the hour.
Yep.
He answered the call. He answered the challenge issued from last week, Laredo Kid, and it's going to happen. In fact, it's our main event for next week, and I cannot fucking wait. I even wrote that in my notes. Cannot fucking wait. That is going to be amazing. It's title versus title, AAA Cruiserweight champ versus middleweight, the man of the hour, and he loves his gold. He said it in the promo. He loves his gold. So that match is going to be everything that I know it's going to be. And for God's sakes, please give me 30 minutes of the hour. Just give me 30 minutes of the hour for that match, because I know both of these guys will deliver to epic proportions.
Absolutely. You're correct. You're right.
Now I just think you're being cynical.
No, you're right. You're 100% right. This is going to be an absolutely fantastic match. I can't believe it's going to be next week, and it's going to be title for title. It's going to be absolutely spectacular. I like you said, I hope they give it a full 30 minutes. I hope it's not just like a 10, 12-minute match. I hope it's a half an hour match. Hell, I hope it's a 60-minute match. I mean,
Just make the whole. Well, we're that's not going to happen. There's already other matches announced for next week. It's not going to be the 60.
Okay.
But you know what? They should have saved this for Filthy Island. But then I remembered there's no money. They can't afford Lio Rush or the Laredo Kid.
Yeah, and as Alicia Toot says, she's not paying for it.
No, she's not paying for it. Fuck that. Why should she have to? Speaking of which, we also another kind of vignette or kind of a little screen crash there quickly. Calvin Tankman.
Yes.
He's returning next week. I'm
Yes,
excited
finally,
to see him back.
Finally.
Yes. I like it how the roster, which was kind of thinned out there for a bit, now we're starting to get a little bit more meat and potatoes, and I like it. I like it a lot. Alicia made a appearance again later on the show in the Filthy Island Control Center. All the sponsors have polled, all of them, and Tom Lawler. This man is very early on in 2021. Is he becoming the MVP of MLW? In my opinion, the promos are just great. During this promo, we saw the Opera Cup. We know he won it. Yada, yada, yada. But also, one of the Filthy family, they got an email, and they were really worried about the email, but Lawler just blew it off. Don't worry about it. Scam. It was just fucking so good. And I have no idea what Filthy Island holds, but I know Lawler will find a way to not impress me with the aesthetics of Filthy Island, but I am looking forward to one very cool match. We're going to see King Mo, who cut that awesome promo in like the concussion ward of the hospital last week. We're going to see him and Low Key. And I also put this in my notes. I can't fucking wait for this one. We're going to see who's the official knockout champ of 2021. Is it King Mo, who's knocked Low Key out, or Low Key, who knocked out the 8-second man, Bud Heavy? I'm excited. I'm excited for this one for Filthy Island. I can't wait.
I can't wait either.
This will save Filthy Island.
Absolutely, because I was a little skeptical about Filthy Island until they announced that match. I was like, holy smoke. Low Key against King Mo on Filthy Island. That's going to be spectacular as well. I can't wait for that. Low Key is going to win,
Bud
of
Heavy
course.
Should be the guest referee in that match. Can we get Bud? Let's hashtag bring Bud back.
Yeah,
we
want Bud.
Yes, Court Bauer, make Bud Heavy the guest referee in that, because he's fucking deserved it. Because you put him in fucking situations where he hasn't had a chance to shine. And if anybody paid fucking attention and actually listened to our interview with him, go on his YouTube and check his shit out. Motherfucker impressed me. He's not who you see on MLW. So all you judgers out there, all you keyboard warriors, I'm gonna hold my keyboard up right now. All you keyboard warriors, you guys got to chill out. The man's doing one thing you're not doing. He's in a ring. He's trying. He's giving a shit. And yeah, I make fun of him. He's the 8-second man, but I made fun of him to his face. That's the difference. I didn't hide behind a keyboard. Well, so all you keyboard warriors, no, I didn't hide, but I made fun of him to his, and he took it. What are you saying? Well, I didn't hide behind a keyboard. I said it. I said, listen, Bud, I called you the 8-second man. And he laughed about it.
Yeah, you're true. That's true. Okay. You're right. You're right.
Again,
you're
Lewis trying to contradict.
No. You're right. You're right. Because you said face to face. I'm thinking person to person. But
fuck, like, do you really? Okay, virtually face to fucking face.
No. It's okay. No. But you're right. Maybe let's get back to the match. Sorry, I don't want to anger you anymore.
Hammerstone promo.
Actually, go back to I'm saying go back to Low Key King Mo. If Bud Heavy's going to be the referee, it's got to have an 8-second time limit.
That's all you need.
8-second time limit. That's it. That's the match. 8-second match.
That's it. No problem. One shot each, and whoever gets knocked, even knocked down to one knee, they lose. Plain and simple.
One shot each.
We have another promo from Hammerstone. Now he's arrived at the Contra compound. He's looking. He's running around. They've got him doing stuff. Yada, yada, yada. It still looks like the back of the arena. This match, next match coming up, I got to say, one half of this match impressed me, and I know you're going to disagree, but that's okay. Gringo Loco versus Gino Medina. Gino Medina and Gringo Loco. Also, before that, they kind of listed a little bit of vignettes. Did he leave? Did he get fired from Dynasty? Or there was that whole him and Richard Holiday back and forth. I left. I fired you. I brought you in for the Spanish minority. And once I had it, I fired you. Richard Holiday's just great. Even when you don't see him and he's in a flashback, he's still fantastic. But this match, yeah, like I said, it really impressed me. Gringo Loco really impressed me. That twisting moonsault was insane. I mean, the twisting moonsault didn't really land it, but it was kind of like a headbutt on the shoulder. That was still pretty cool. The boot counter from Gino was also impressive into the flying knee, and then the roll up back and forth for the win. I gotta say, Gino kind of stole that one because for a while there, it looked like, and again, you'll probably disagree, but it looked like Gringo Loco was in control for a fair amount of the match. And I think Gino got lucky and he stole that one straight up. But Gringo Loco, he impressed me, man. I want to see him back. I want to see some more of him.
No, I'm agreeing. I agree with you. Gringo Loco, you look at him, you don't think he can move the way he can move, the way he looks. But this guy is super fast. He flips around. He's like a lightweight, and that twisting moonsault was just fantastic. You don't expect a guy like that to do a twisting moonsault. And like you said, he didn't completely hit it, but still, that's damn impressive. And yes, Gino Medina did steal the match. For a second, I thought when they initially did the roll up, I was like, "Oh my God, Loco's going to beat Medina." Right? I thought Loco was going to win, but then he reversed it and he won. So he did steal the match. And I kind of think that if they're trying to build up Medina, he should have won more cleanly. But I was impressed with both, and they had a brawl after the match as well.
Yeah, I was about to say that. There was the promo. He cut the promo entirely in Spanish with no
Yeah,
subtitles, so I have
didn't
no
know
idea what
didn't
he
know
was
what
saying.
he was saying.
But yeah, Gringo Loco interrupted, and they fought. They fought off air. Like the promo ended and it
Yeah.
faded to black or to a commercial, a YouTube commercial, if you will. But I kind of like it. I want to see more of Gringo Loco, and if I can offer a comparison, because he's one of the guys who doesn't look like he can move like that, but he's impressive as shit. Would be a Kevin Owens, around the same build and same size,
Yeah.
and he moves a lot like Kevin Owens. So any listeners out there, watchers out there who are Kevin Owens fans, check out Gringo Loco. The guy actually impressed, and he lasted 3 times longer than Bud Heavy's entire time in MLW. The match was about almost 6 minutes. So he like lapped Bud Heavy 5 times over. Easy. Easy.
He's gonna get a little. He's gonna lose patience with you, man. You keep you keep bringing that up, man.
No,
But
I much respect to Bud Heavy, and you know, like we tell everybody at the end of every interview, you're welcome back. I don't know if he continues to watch week to week, but he knows it's all in love, and I do want to see Bud Heavy back, and I actually hope that Court Bauer listened to us or is watching. Well, we know he's watching because he endorsed us, but I hope he's listening, and I hope he sees that. Give Bud Heavy more of a chance because he would impress. I actually think him and Gringo Loco would have one hell of a match. And I'm not being a jackass right now. I think that would be a great in-ring
I
chemistry
agree. I agree.
from two guys. So I really mean that from my heart as a wrestling fan. Main event time. Yeah,
Uh-oh.
I didn't stutter with my sigh. My sigh was dramatically long for a reason. Hammerstone versus Kruger. They fought in a garbage dump, clearly behind the back of the building. I'm sorry, I can't sell it anymore. Then there was the old bait and switch. Hammerstone threw him into one of the garbage bins, thought he had him the 1, 2, 3. Did not look like Max Kruger at all, was about half the size of Max Kruger. And then we saw Kruger off to the right. He knocked Hammerstone kind of to his knees. And then he's got his hand pointed out at the camera. Hail Contra. And then it's done. The episode's over. Finito. Completely finito. And that was the match. Before we get your thoughts on that, I do want to read. I took a picture of the disclaimer during Tom Lawler's promo. There was a disclaimer at the bottom of the screen. I don't know if anybody could see it, but I took a picture, and the disclaimer read, and I quote, MLW makes no guarantee regarding the information contained herein, nor does MLW assume any liability whatsoever in the event Filthy Island is a fraudulent business venture. Wrestlers and fans take 100% risk journeying to Filthy Island. I fucking died. I forgot to mention that. My apologies, watchers, listeners. I know we're backtracking before I let Lewis get to his thoughts, before we welcome this week's guest. But yeah, that was the disclaimer. I have it. I'm actually going to make it my Facebook page. There it is right there, if you can see it. I've got it, the beautiful photo taken right on my TV. And I love it. I love it. And that's the actual picture that I took right there. You see Lawler with the rest of the Filthy family. That was I love it. I love everything about Filthy Island and Tom Lawler. I fucking love it. This man is a born and bred champion. He is going to rock gold this year at some point in time. That's my prediction on that. But Lewis, what's your thoughts on this awesome main event?
Well, first off, I'm glad you wrote that down because I meant to write down that disclaimer, but I forgot to do it. But I'm glad you wrote it down. You glad you brought it up. It was absolutely that was terrific. I thought that was very very entertaining. But the Backley brawl, I was initially fooled. I didn't realize that we were going to get a bait and switch. I thought it was actually Matt Kruger until the pin, and Hammerstone was like, "Wait a minute, this is not Kruger." And then Kruger shows up and takes out Hammerstone and looks to the camera and kind of they're going for the cliffhanger ending, like, "Oh my God, what happened? What's happened to Hammerstone?" I guess tune in next week to find out. I thought we were gonna get like a video on YouTube, like. Like what happened? What are you doing?
I'm making my shock and awe face.
You can't.
I'm sorry.
He's making these weird
I'm
faces.
sorry, but you know what? This week's episode was semi-enjoyable. It actually was. There was some entertaining moments. Definitely the match between Medina and Gringo Loco was great. But I just feel like there was so many great weeks of amazing things that we saw. And this Backley brawl, they built this up for close to a month. A month.
Yeah,
and we got 8 fucking minutes. Like, we're not stupid. We live and breathe the MLW product. That's why we started this podcast. But it's stuff like this that's a fucking head shaker. But then, of course, it plays out. We thought the ref thing from the week ago was a joke. And look at the publicity that happened. So, like I said it at the middle of the show. Court Bauer, the fucking mad genius, man. Straight up. I don't know what he's got planned, but it's going to be something cool. And we were both wrong because this kind of was a cinematic match. We thought it was going to be around the arena. It was. It was in the back of the arena. But still, it was kind of a cinematic match, and we were wrong that way. We both said it was going to be just around the arena.
Even Hammerstone, as they go, as before the whole thing starts, she's like, "I wish this match was in a wrestling ring," and I'm like, "Me too. So do I. I wish it was in a wrestling ring." But as I was saying before, I thought we were gonna get what happened when the cameras went off the air, and they were gonna show us maybe a conclusion on what happened. But I guess we're gonna have to cliffhanger. We have to wait to see what happened. But the best part is the cameraman saying, "We got to get the fuck out of here."
Yes.
The cameraman.
150% fucking agree with you.
He's like, "We got to get the fuck out of here." He's like, "I'm fucking getting. I'm going back to the hotel room. We got to get the fuck out of here, man." That was the best part of the whole thing.
All right, so we're gonna have our guest coming on in about 2 minutes. So let's be quick. We won't shout out our socials right now. We usually set them out at the halfway point of the show. Well, we're gonna shout them out at the end of the show when our guest shouts his out. And yes, it is a he. So there you go. I gave you a hint, but you have to wait 2 minutes. All right, my grade, real quick. Straight up for this one, I'm gonna give it a C, just a C across the board. The only reason it's a C and not a D, Tom Lawler. That's the absolute only reason, and Gringo Loco. Those were the 2 reasons for me that this was a C show and not a D show. But if you take those 2 elements out of it, yes, it would have been a D show for me, and that's my reasoning. Lewis.
I'm gonna say C as well. I'm gonna go C with the same reasonings that you gave. So no need to repeat them. You already said it. So I'm gonna go C as well.
Absolutely. And just before our guest comes in, I just want to read everybody something else that I wrote down myself. Something that's kind of near and dear to my heart. And I think that us here at MLW Rewind, we're also going to take this same approach. MLW Rewind makes no guarantee regarding the information contained herein, nor does MLW Rewind assume any liability whatsoever in the event Filthy Island is a fraudulent business venture. Wrestling fans, listeners, take 100% risk journeying to Filthy Island. So we are on board with MLW on this one. Us here at MLW Rewind will not be sponsoring. We were never sponsoring, nor would we ever sponsor. We did say we'd give them $3 Canadian, but since then we've decided to pull that as well. So we're on the same bandwagon as Court Bauer. Journey at your own risk to Filthy Island. Journey.
I'm looking forward to February 17th.
Absolutely. It's going to be another fire fest. I honestly believe that that's what we're going to get. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the time is at hand. Please help us welcome this week's guest, the one, the only, the amazing Zenshi to MLW Rewind. How are you, brother?
What's up? ¿Cómo está? I am very, 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 very well. So blessed.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. We appreciate the time you give to us and highlighting you and your amazing abilities. And as 2 MLW fans, you are somebody we look forward to seeing when you do show up. 150%. So I'm George. You know my podcast life partner, Lewis. He was talking to you, setting things up. I'm sorry I didn't set things up. I should have done it. You probably being around the same age group, we would have linked up a lot quicker. Lewis takes a long time to write on the cell phone because his eyes are older. And it's nothing. It just comes with old age, Zenshi. It comes with old age.
What is this abuse? I don't gotta take this abuse, man. What's going on
If
here?
everyone watched the first half an hour, they would see the abuse that I take.
Oh my
Moving on.
gosh.
All
Oh
right,
my
the
gosh.
first question of the day today. Zenshi, what was the moment you fell in love with pro wrestling? Do you remember that moment? I call it the
Oh,
defining moment.
definitely. I was in a pizza parlor. Okay. I was maybe like 11, 12 years old. I think closer to 11. And I remember just waiting on my pizza, and on the screen it was Friday Night SmackDown. And I had watched wrestling with my brother back in the Monday Night Wars era when I was like 6, 5. I don't remember a whole lot outside of Sting being my favorite, Booker T. I remember Goldberg. But that was more a tag along with my brother. At this point, in that pizza parlor, and I was watching SmackDown, and Eminem came out, and they were so saucy and all that. And then, this big old swole muscle dude. And then there was this little guy with a mask. He came out popping out of the floor and, flipping on everybody's heads. And I'm like, what is this? And that's when I was like, you know what? I can do that. I'm gonna learn how to do that. And I became a super fan.
Fantastic. That's a great moment for sure.
All right, man.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, man. You've been with MLW for a number of years now. So what led to your signing with MLW? What led to you becoming a member of the MLW roster?
So it'll be I think 2 years in hold on. What year is it? 2021?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It hasn't even been 2 years yet. It's I'm actually pretty new and just coming in and getting my feet wet. And then we had this whole pandemic thing kind of shift everything. So it's kind of truly the restart. But back to your question, it was in July 2019. I got a phone call from a dear friend named Teddy Hart. And I looked at my phone, and I'm really bad at voicemails. I don't answer voicemails. It's like they don't exist to me. Okay. And in my Google Voice app, it transcribes the voicemails. And I just happened to accidentally scroll over to the text transcribe, and I saw a voicemail. It was like something wrestling, something looking for you, something talk to these people. So I listened to it, and I'm like, oh. This is he left 2 voicemails over the course of a month, and I didn't see him until like a month later. And I ended up talking to him, and he said, "Hey, I know these guys that I'm sure they'd be interested in you, and I've been looking for you for a while, and here, so he hooked it up, and there you go. I was on Kings of the Coliseum a few weeks later."
All right, man. Great story, man. Great story, man.
When you started training, was the high risk style something that you gravitated towards right away, or did you try and master another style before you went to the high flying?
Okay. That's a cool question. So I am a professional gymnast. And I was a late starter as a kid, but from about 10 to 14, 15, I competed at a, pretty high level in gymnastics. So my air awareness and, just coming out of athletics stuff, really helped build a huge foundation in my wrestling career that a lot of other almost every other wrestler does not have or did not have, especially at the time. So walking into the wrestling school, of course, I don't know anything about how this whole thing works, but I can definitely backflip, front flip, twist, more ways than Sunday. So of course, WWA 4, our wrestling school had 5 rings, and one was like the crash ring. It was a little softer. The ropes were nice. So anytime I could sneak away from Mr. Hughes, Total Protection, Mr. Hughes, I would be over there, trying silly, crazy things. And but I had to learn. It takes more than just some backflips to do well.
Absolutely, 100%.
Now, we're talking about the high risk style. How does it feel doing all those high risk spots with no crowd? There's no crowd reaction. Does that throw your game off at all?
Well, it's funny. At this point, I don't do anything that's high risk. I actually don't enjoy we got to make a living with our bodies. You know what I mean? So when you start out and when it's earlier in your career, obviously you want to do the maximum you can just for the sake of doing it. Like that's just what the mindset is when you're that young coming in, you're athletic. And a lot of wrestlers fall into that that cycle. Well, the next time you got to do another twist and another 540 because you burnt it out because you're doing it all wrong. At this point, I call myself the aerial artist for a reason. I'm not a high flyer. I actually don't like being called a high flyer and all that, because that's what I was. But now I'm more of a more complete fighter in the ring. I'm the aerial artist. So what I do, the things that I create, it's my special, blended, handcrafted artwork that I'm presenting for you. So nothing you're seeing, is something I'm just pulling out of my ass out there. These, I've trained and I've honed these things, and this is my technique that I use to beat other people's asses all over the MLW ring.
All right.
I agree with that. You do beat a lot of asses all over the ring. And I got to ask, because you do a lot of stuff from really low angles, a lot of stuff that a lot of people can't do. And like you said, you spent a lot of years training and mastering. Which out of those moves was the hardest to learn? I would have to think the moonsault from the bottom rope. Ridiculous amounts of agility to get the height that you get. So which
one are you talking about? You said the moonsault from the bottom rope. Which one you talking about, the 450?
Yes, sorry, my apologies. I get those confused all the time. Now Lewis is gonna give me shit off camera. Great.
Yeah,
Great.
that's an extremely hard maneuver.
Yeah.
You've got to be a certain level of athletic to do a regular 450 splash, but it's certainly doable from the top rope. And then, when someone busted out from the second rope, people thought that was bananas. But the bottom rope is so much more complicated, because you don't take into account that there's the buckles behind you. So if you don't lean sufficiently forward enough, you're going to hit the buckles when you go up. However, that's usually not what you want to do on a front flip. You don't want to lean forward into it. You want to jump up. Right. So the fact that you have to lean forward just to make this possible, and then you're losing height, and you've got to somehow snap into the, and rotate fast enough. It makes it, I guess, high risk, but however, the added rotation speed makes it more devastating, I find, for my opponents.
Well, 100%. I've seen you put a few guys down with the 1-2-3 with that for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I gotta say that 450 splash off the bottom rope was a holy shit moment for me. That was absolutely fantastic, man.
You haven't seen nothing yet, Lewis. That's nothing. I'm the only person on the planet that does the 630 senton from the middle rope. The only person. I've never seen anyone. Show me a video if you've seen it, and if you've seen it better than me. You haven't seen it in MLW yet. Haven't been able to find the right moment to hit it yet, but I guarantee if I'm hitting that move, it's coming with a championship. No one's kicked out. George
has tried it a couple of times, but he wasn't able to hit it either. He couldn't hit it.
No, yeah, but you know what though, Zenshi, Lewis is right. I've tried it a few times, but here's the one thing. At least I tried it with underwear, not depends. There you go. The floor's yours, buddy. Floor's yours.
Okay. We're gonna have a match. We're gonna have a steel cage match soon. We're gonna keep it up, man. So your match against Laredo Kid, absolutely tremendous. I absolutely love that match, man. So your thoughts on that match? Your thoughts on Laredo Kid, and when are we gonna get Zenshi Laredo Kid 2?
I love Laredo Kid. Laredo Kid's a lot of fun. We had a tag match in Philadelphia versus Injustice at the time, and he was a replacement. I was supposed to tag with Gringo Loco that night, but instead Laredo Kid popped in and filled the role coming to Justice. So that was my first time really working with him. And he's just a stand-up guy. I really enjoy watching him and working with him. He's very easy to work with. But this was the first time recently that we went against each other. So as soon as we got the deal worked out, the title fight, I was super excited, but I had already been training for Laredo Kid for quite some time because I knew it was only a matter of time before we clashed.
Like I said, tremendous match. I hope we get a rematch, man. Absolutely fantastic match, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we definitely got to have a rematch. Maybe for my championship this time.
Well, yeah, and both of us said that last week in our episode. We said that your match, that should have been the main event, because the main event that was on that night was not worthy of being called the main event. We said your match was the match that stole the show. We stood by it. And as much as I can't wait for you versus Laredo Kid 2, I got to pose this question, because next week we're getting Laredo Kid versus my boy, the man of the hour, Lio Rush.
Oh, your boy. Oh, your boy. Okay.
He's my boy. We've never spoken in person, but I love him. But I'm a fan of yours, just like I'm a fan of his. But they're going title for title. So whoever wins is going to be a double champion. So with you and Myron Reed clearly waiting in the wings, and you potentially having to go through Myron Reed to get to either the Laredo Kid or Lio Rush, depending on who's rocking double gold. Who you like? How do you prepare for Myron Reed if you have to go there for that number one contendership?
It's a situation. It's a situation,
dude. It's,
let me tell you this.
I was sitting there holding my breath. It's a situation,
and there's so many layers to this. I don't know if we got time, but you know, I'll start with this. I'll start with Lio Rush. Lio Rush is one of the good guys in wrestling. You know, he talks a big game and plays a big character coming into MLW, coming into our house and wanting to run shit. You know, he has earned his stripes at this point. You know, there was a time where you couldn't say that, but at this time he's earned his stripes. You know, I remember preparing for a match with Lio Rush when he's looking at me like, hey, I'm nervous. I don't know quite what to do. And I'm like, hey, relax, kid. You know, we got this. Make sure you listen to me out there. There was a time, you know, and throughout the years, you know, he's blazed his trail and I've blazed mine, but he's always come back with a nice handshake. He's always been respectable, but that doesn't change the fact that we're still adversaries in MLW. So he may have the spotlight right now as the MLW World Middleweight Champion, and he may be going into that huge match against the guy that just barely got the win against me. But guess what? Lio has not forgotten. He still has not beaten Zenshi yet. Never has. Now, moving on to Myron Reed. Before this whole pandemic, before we even had to have a restart, Myron Reed was the man, and that was the guy I was gunning for. Of course, man of the hour comes in, steals the spotlight a little bit. Okay, I'll let him have his fun first. Maybe I have to go through Lio Rush first, but Myron Reed is still on my list as well. So guess what? Any way you want to put us together, Laredo, Rush, Reed, Zenshi, you can mix it up any way it's going to be. Zenshi's going to come out on top. Zenshi's going to come out with 3 championships. How about that?
I don't disagree. And I also want to say to you and to Court Bauer, when that moment happens, shut up and take my money. Take it quickly. Because I want that. I want a fatal 4-way. We got to make it happen somehow. I don't care how the stories work. Court Bauer, you're the mad genius. Write me something good. You wrote me Filthy Island, which has been fucking great. Write me something good. By the way, has Tom Lawler approached you on being on Filthy Island knowing there's no money?
Well, you know, back when there was a money deal, he did come to me and he was like, hey, I got something you can't refuse. I got an offer you can't refuse. And honestly, I was a little frustrated at the time. I was just got my my ass beat from Tankman, another good egg. But just got my ass beat from Tankman, and he came to me in the back and he was like, hey, you know, that was BS. What happened out there? You know, you just got caught. But guess what? I still see value in you. I got this. I can't really disclose it yet. But we did work out something. Then come to find out there's no money. But sometimes it's not about the money. Sometimes it's about the experience. And I'm still game. So when it's go time, you're going to see something real special. Fantastic.
Lewis.
You mentioned some really big names there. What about Jacob Fatu? Have you any aspiration about going after Jacob Fatu and the heavyweight title?
Whoo! Fatu. Hey, you know what? Middleweight, cruiserweight, heavyweight, I'll knock them all down. Call me Max Holloway, because it doesn't matter what weight class we're in here. I'll take them all down, just like Max Holloway takes down DC. See, Fatu is a super special talent. To be so big, to be so athletic, to be so menacing, he's good everywhere. So let's handle Lio Rush first. Let's handle the small fries. Let's get me in the middleweight championship. Let's go for the open weight and then let's work our way up to the heavyweight. Be, you know, a coup de grace. I'll have all of them.
I absolutely love to see that match. So I think you would give Fatu a fantastic match, man.
Zenshi and Fatu. Hey, book that one, Court.
Well, you forgot one other title, though. I mean, it's not really a recognized MLW title, but the Caribbean Championship, you and Richard Holiday, that would be a barn burner, in my opinion.
You know, I've only crossed Richard Holiday's path one time, and that was in that little battle royal that we did maybe a year ago. You know, he usually stays to himself in the locker room. he's a little too good for I guess the common folk. So he has his own private locker room and all that stuff. But something about the guy doesn't rub me the right way. As far as the Caribbean Championship situation and all the controversy, those boys clearly have unfinished business. So I'm sitting back, I'm cheering on Savio Vega, and I'm sure it's not over between them two. Let's let them work that out, and then we can think about the South American King coming over and taking over the Caribbean.
I love it. I love the vibe.
Now we said Court Bauer's name a couple of times. What was your initial opinion of Court Bauer when you first met him?
When I first met him, very quiet and reserved type energy in person, but yeah, super inviting and jolly. It's funny, you know, maybe the first 4 or 5 times, you know, I've actually met him, you know, in the backstage. It was, you know, just very short and simple, and you know, and oh, thanks for coming. But it was after my match with El Lindemann in Philadelphia. That match I feel was my best effort with MLW up to that point, and it was a great opportunity for me one-on-one. Unfortunately, I didn't get the victory I wanted, but apparently the effort was enough for Court to single me out later on in the hotel, and just like, hey, that was really, you know, I was rooting for you out there. It was really good contest against Lindemann. And that was the most he spoke to me since we first met. And it was cool to see his personality come out a little bit more. And yeah, he's cool in my book.
How long are you signed to an official contract? And if so, how long is the contract?
Multi-year contract. We got about, I don't know, a little over 2 years left.
Okay. All right, cool.
2 years to make something special happen.
We don't need 2 years to make something special happen. We just need Court Bauer to understand the situation now. That's what we need.
Well, let's hope. You know, it's been about 2 years, and you know, we got 2 more. Let's see if we can make some fire happen.
Absolutely. I got a question for you, and I think this is a perspective that you might be able to be very open and honest about. The middleweight division. Do you think it's highlighted the best it could be in MLW right now, considering what Impact is doing with the X division and how very high that's a decent percentage of their show, and also, you know, the WWE Cruiserweight champion being able to be on NXT and be highlighted there for, you know, a very strong period. I think the division in MLW is top notch, but I believe, and this is my opinion, I believe it could be highlighted a little bit better and a little bit more, because I think you guys bring the fire every week, whereas some of the other divisions have let us down. What's your thoughts on that?
Interesting perspective. Okay, I don't really watch a whole lot of wrestling outside of my opponents that I have to prepare for these days, to be honest with you. So I have the faintest idea what's going on at Impact right now, and just an inkling of what's going on at WWE. But, you know, one thing about WWE and their machine that they have, you know, that's not something, you know, the wrestler has to worry about so much. The spotlight, they're gonna be seen. They're gonna be seen everywhere. About Impact, you know, I feel like, from what I know of Impact, the X division, you know, used to be sort of like an extra division. You know, it was the extra division. Well, you're telling me now, are you saying now it's getting more respect, would you say?
Oh yeah, in my opinion, they have some of the best wrestlers in that division. TJP right now is the champion. Rohit Ranju was the former champion. Chris Bay was also a former champion. And these guys, these guys and you, given the opportunity in MLW, because TJP is kind of over there, maybe that's opening the doors for more opportunities. I can see you and Rohit just throwing down some fire. I think
that has, you know, speaking of Impact, I think it has something to do with, you know, just the new rotation of talent. Like all those guys you mentioned. When I competed in the X division against Crazy Steve and against Jeff Hardy that one time, it was a different land. It was a different Impact land. So good luck to those guys competing right now, and you know, good luck for them. Back to the middleweight division and MLW specifically. With us having a 1-hour show, it's just hard for anyone to get true spotlight. You know what I mean? Outside of if you've got a shiny gold belt. So if you are one of the champions in MLW, you're going to get the maximum exposure that you possibly can get, I think, and being that we only have an hour show. But sometimes that leads to you having a huge roster, and you may only get one match every few months. Case in point, I was a little more active the last couple of weeks against back-to-back with Bauer and Laredo Kid, and a few weeks back Tankman. But before that, we don't get to see, we don't get to see we don't get to be active as much as the other promotions. So I don't think it's quite fair to compare it apples to apples as far as promotion wise, when we only have an hour and we have a big wide roster, like you said.
Fair enough, 100%. And I guess then Court Bauer, you got to give us an extra 30 minutes. That's all I'm asking. 90-minute show. Give me an extra 30.
That would be a good move. A 90-minute show. 90-minute show, 5 matches, 4 to 5 matches. I think that would be great. I think 5, yeah. Track 5 matches in there. That'd be good.
Absolutely.
You mentioned the match with Calvin Tankman. What's your thoughts on Calvin Tankman? I watched the match. It looks like he had a little trouble with him. But do you think how much potential do you think Tankman has?
Tankman is like money walking. Oh my goodness. First of all, Tankman, really good guy. Just great energy. My first time meeting him is when he came in looking for a fight. And it's funny when he had signed, they signed him right away before he even had well, sort of like me, I guess, signed right away before I competed. But he comes right in and nobody raised their hand to go with this guy. Like nobody wanted him. It took him a while to actually find an opponent. I raised my hand nice and loud. I love styles clashes type matches. I love wrestling big guys. I love floating around them. It's just fun. It doesn't always work out, but it's a lot of fun. So I was super eager to test myself against them. I had a good time until I didn't, until it hurt.
All right. This is going to be my final question for you, sir. But MLW allows a lot of creative in their matches, and a lot of things that don't get, I guess, recognized enough is the 20-second count on the outside, which allows for so much storytelling in every match that can be done. Do you think that extra 10 seconds on the outside allows for a little bit more creativity to come out of the aerial artist if there's an opportunity to go outside of the ring?
I think for sure. I love using the environment as a weapon. I flag on the ring post and all that. But there's an important thing to consider. You can't win the match outside the ring. So although it can open up so many doors of offense and defense, it could lower your chances, because if something goes wrong out there, there's not much, it's not very forgiving, the concrete and the metal and all that kind of stuff that could be outside the ring there. So it's definitely, you gotta be strategic. Sometimes maybe it's, not a smart idea to stay out there too long. Once you get your shots in, you know what I'm saying? But the 20 count versus the 10 count, I think it does, have a huge potential to change match outcomes. How many times have you seen matches end on countouts that you're like, oh, that guy could have won, or blah, blah. So 20 seconds does, give the fighters a lot more room, a lot more discretion when it comes to proving who's the better man or woman out there.
100%.
I like it.
Yeah, 100%. And I loved your answer. I loved your answer. Thank you for that.
And this is my last question as well. How would you rate your time with MLW up until now? And with your talent, do you feel you deserve an even bigger push in 2021?
I love the way you think, Chris. How would I rate it? Like out of 10? What is this, a 10? Is a 1 to 10 system?
Let's go A, B, C, D, E.
So A is the best?
A is the best.
Oh, like the school system.
Yes.
So far, there's so many perspectives you could look at it. But as an aggregate, I'm gonna say a C. I'm gonna give it a C. So the overwhelmingly awesome marks is how well they take care of us. They really do take care of the wrestlers as far as accommodation, as far as making sure, even you're flown from wherever destination you need to be flown from and to, and what times. it is a lot of care, you know, as far as how they treat their wrestlers, which is awesome. You know, with, like I said before, with us only having an hour right now, we're not as active as, you know, I would like to be. But, you know, everybody's doing their best, you know. When it comes to, you know, the opportunities to be creative and to do something special, you know, just coming in from an outside, you know, you don't expect to just shoot right to the top. You know, there's got to be work to do. You got to go out there and prove yourself first. And I felt like I was just beginning to do that in the month that I was, you know, first signed. And then with the setback of the whole 2020 deal, and we're just now again having, it's almost like truly a restart. So I feel like I'm still having to prove myself once again. You know, so I'm really interested to see how the next year plays out. I'm trying not to judge the past too much. I'm really interested to see how the next year and the next 2 years play out, because I do think I have a very unique, very special, rare talent that's unlike any other performer on this planet, and it's been that way for a while. And I feel like, you know, I know you have to prove yourself in a new place, but I've been proving myself all over the world for quite some time here. So at some point you got to look at, if championship opportunities aren't coming my way, if, you know, the opportunities I want aren't coming my way after a while, then you know, you gotta reevaluate. But right now I feel like we're in a good spot, and I'm looking forward to continuing to do my best and continuing to do my job and continuing to put the best fights on that I can.
All right, man.
I think you're doing all that and more. And Zenshi, this has been an absolute pleasure
I agree
to have you on MLW Rewind with your boys George and Lewis. Before we let you go, for anybody who's stupid enough to not be following the aerial artist, where can they find you on the wonderful world of social media?
Yeah, I'm most active on Instagram at The Aerial Artist. You can also find me on Facebook /The Aerial Artist. You know, we didn't get to talk about some of the other projects outside MLW. Maybe we can do a round 2. We could do a rematch at some point. We can get into lucha wear. We can get into the League of Luchadors. We can get into Weekend Lucha a little bit. Sidebar. But yeah, Instagram and Facebook, best places to reach me right now.
Fantastic. And I'm going to let Lewis go next to shout out his socials because he does have a bedtime. Lewis.
I'm allowed to stay up late today. It's okay. It's okay.
It's a Friday. You finished all your beats.
It's Friday. Yeah. Thank God it's Friday. So it's on Twitter at Shooting Up North, Instagram at Alliance PW Wrestling. And I'm sorry, at Alliance PW Network. I'm sorry, Alliance PW Network on Instagram, Facebook, Alliance Pro Wrestling Network, YouTube, Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. And please hit that subscribe button. You can go now, George. It's your turn, man.
Fantastic. Mine is a lot simple. Mine is real easy. It's Straight Talk Wrestling on Instagram and Facebook, at underscore Straight Talk on Twitter, and Straight Talk Wrestling on YouTube. And Zenshi, just to let you know, this episode is dropping this weekend on Sunday. We drop new MLW content every Sunday. So if you smash, follow us, you'll get the notification when we're dropping this fantastic interview. And, you know, your boy, he follows you. And I'm hoping, maybe, just maybe, early Christmas gift, I get a follow back from the aerial.
Hey, no problem. You got it right here.
Fantastic.
Right here,
Fantastic. As always, guys, I'm your host, your boy, George Mckay. You know my podcast life partner, Lewis. Lewis, say goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. Take care.
and you know our guest today, Zenshi. Thank you so much. The aerial artist, the king. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. We appreciate you.
Muchas gracias, mi amigos.
All right. Take care, guys.
Thank you. Take care, buddy. Bye-bye.
Peace.